GTA 5, we're doing the story missions. This is the very beginning. Kind of get you involved with the story. Basically, we know that basically doing bank robberies and heists is kind of the premise of the game. Okay, I'm going to throw a lot of spoilers throughout this, so if that's a problem for you, you might want to just skip this whole thing. But throughout the game, my buddy Demented Priest and I, he was basically completed the game much faster than me, and he was giving me, you know, the friction between Michael and Trevor, and I had a hard time basically relating to Michael's situation and story. I just didn't get the whole witness protection program, this and that. He didn't turn state's evidence or anything like that. It's kind of fuzzy or gray area, the deal that he made with this Dave guy with the FIB. And it's definitely just not a clear-cut thing, to me at least, that the deal that he made with the FIB, I don't really understand why he had to make a deal with the FIB. He could have just made the money from this and told the boys that, hey, I'm retiring, I'm going all the ways, you know, you all got your cuts, and that kind of thing. And I don't really get the whole thing. You know, normally when somebody goes into witness protection, it's this and that, but throughout the game, when you first meet Lester, he kind of gets into a little bit how Michael is basically paying off this FIB person every month with a cash sum. I guess that's to, you know, pay for his witness protection and this and that. He didn't really get into whether or not,
how about you make sure this is one of them?
You know, this Dave guy found out, you know, that he was doing it, but in a mission much later in the game called Burying the Hatchet, if you're playing as Michael, he kind of gets into where he says he makes this deal, and as this mission is progressing, he mentions that it's not supposed to go down like that. I don't know, a little bit. It's like, this isn't supposed to happen, and it's not supposed to go down like that. Don't really get the whole thing. To me, the story's got some holes in it. As far as Michael and the deal that he made with this Dave guy with the FIB and all that. And it could have been a little clearer in my opinion. So, but with this beginning mission, you kind of get a feel for it. I cut it out. I went into the options. I kind of messed with my aiming and brightness and all that kind of stuff. But you get a feel for the aiming and the shooting and all that in this beginning thing, and switching through your characters, it kind of sets you up for you know what's about to happen here. Although Trevor doesn't become a playable character until about 10 or so missions into the game, and then once Trevor does become playable, then you can't play as Michael or Franklin for a little while, and then eventually they all can at some point.
Don't be an idiot.
But as I was mentioning,
They answered the wrong call.
I just I like it when the story is very clean cut. There's no gaps in there. They never quite say whether or not. We just know that Michael and this Dave guy has got some kind of thing going. Why Michael decided to make this deal is very unclear. Basically, the other character, Brad here, with his mask still on, winds up getting hit, and then the guy that's a driver winds up getting hit. So Michael's deal basically costs 2 lives here. And then when Trevor runs off, he doesn't have his money bag with him. So not really sure exactly how this was all supposed to go down. And throughout the story mode, you know, Trevor kind of starts putting these pieces together about what happened on this particular mission here. Although by the end of the game, depending on how you perceive the big score at the end, will kind of determine what happens with Trevor and Michael.
Let's move. Come on. Let's move it.
Although through the progression of the game, you know, Michael will tell Franklin kind of he made a decision here, and again, it's just not clear cut exactly what the what his intentions were here. You know, like I said, he mentioned that it wasn't supposed to go down like this. You don't know exactly what kind of deal he made with this guy. But one thing's for sure, Michael's decision cost a couple dudes their lives. Starting with this guy right here. It just like if Michael didn't make the deal with the FIB, would the police been there so quick, or could they have done the heist without even any police on the case? It's unclear about the whole deal.
We move quick, we can beat the train. We're getting there.
At some point in one of the missions, Michael makes a comment that he actually contacted Dave about turning himself in or making this deal. It's just unclear about the whole thing, and that kind of annoys me about the story mode.
Stick to the plan. We're home free.
Not that it really reflects. I mean, it was a pretty awesome game, and there was a lot of missions, a lot of side stuff to do, and that kind of thing. I just I don't like it when the story's kind of got some holes in it, and
You guys all right? Fuck! Come
they
on.
could have definitely tidied this
car,
deal
all right?
up.
We can go this way to the chopper. No, hey, stick to the plan. What? Stick to the fucking plan. Come on.
Because right here, this Dave guy,
The chopper.
you know, obviously the very first time I didn't know that this was him.
Check around back.
He's waiting here with a sniper rifle,
Someone must have fucking talked.
and Brad's basically,
We gotta get the fuck
it doesn't look like a fatal hit, and then Michael gets hit, and that doesn't look like a fatal hit.
Oh, Jesus.
But
T, you gotta get out of here. I'm gonna leave you, Mikey. Go.
we got a pretty big shootout
You
here,
gotta bleed out. Go.
and there's a lot of cops. I don't know if this Dave guy kind of took all the bags from the heist, and the money never made it back to the police evidence, or exactly what happened here.
You fucking cocksuckers! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! I'm standing here! Finish me! Kill me, you pricks!
And we got more cops showing up.
You, hey!
Oh, God! Don't shoot!
Where's the chopper?
I don't know what you're talking about!
Fucking stay back! You come near me, she's fucking dead! Stay back!
Oh, God, help me! Help!
Go! Go!
Okay, so I guess maybe due to the bad weather or whatever, Trevor gets away. They don't really get into how or anything like that, and next thing we see is that we're at Michael's funeral.
Was not always a good husband, not always a good citizen. He did not die a hero's death, but he was a man. Our Lord was crucified with two thieves, so perhaps we should not judge.
Okay, this guy right here, that is actually Dave from the FIB, and he's an instrumental character throughout the story. And there's Michael watching his supposed funeral.
Do not know your infinite mysteries.
And next thing you know, we're all in
know
Los Santos.
that you will show mercy to our friends.
Who's buried in that coffin? Well, we find out much later in the game who that is. But again, this whole story's got a lot of holes in it when it comes to Michael and the state, being in the witness protection and his deal with Dave with the FIB and all that. I wish it was a lot clearer and a little more clean cut exactly what his intentions were there. But one thing's for sure, his decision cost a couple dudes their lives.
Your son, James. He's a good kid.
He's a good kid? A good kid? Why? Does he help the fucking poor? No. He sits on his ass all day, smoking dope and jerking off while he plays that fucking game. If that's our standard for goodness, no wonder this country's screwed.
Michael's talking to his shrink.
And what about you?
What about me?
This guy's here throughout the game, but I've never
I don't have
actually
the
went
advantages
to
that kid has.
have a session with him.
By the time I was his age,
The only
I'd
other
already been in
time
prison twice.
I was at this shrink's
I robbed
house is
banks,
when we do the mission
ran
reuniting
whores,
the family.
smuggled dope.
And you consider them
And then at the very end of
achievements.
the game,
These were
which
the opportunities I had. At
kind of
least
a
I
situation with
And
him,
where
but
did these opportunities get you, Michael?
took. They got me right fucking here. The end of the road. With a big house and a useless kid, and I'm stuck talking to you because no one else gives a shit. Oh, I'm living a dream, baby. And that dream is fucked. It is fucking fucked.
Let it all out.
I think I just did.
Oh, well, I think that's all we have time for. The same time next week?
I guess. Oh. I gotta tell you, I ain't too sure this shit is working for me.
Well, a sense of overriding futility is a vital part of the process. Embrace it.
Whatever you say, Doc.
okay. So from here, there's some kind of music playing in the background, and I'm just muted it. I wanted to just kind of talk a little bit. Okay, as the story progresses, all the characters are going to be intertwined. I said there'll be times when you can't play with certain characters, they're laying low or something to that effect. We won't see Trevor till several missions into the story, basically after we complete the jewelry heist, which is the very first heist that we do, and it's the first time Michael or Franklin make a little bit of pocket money. The game has had several patches. When the game first came out, there was a little, I don't know if you want to call it a glitch, but you were able to take one of your characters out to one of the hidden packages and swim down to the package, collect it, and then switch a character, and then switch back to that particular character, and the package would be there. And I did that like 4 or 5 missions in, and both Michael and Franklin got 400,000 to 500,000. So I gave them some pocket money without even doing that. So any weapons that might have came available, I was easy to buy. But as I was talking throughout this beginning mission, Michael's story it's just not a clear-cut deal what he had going on and the deal that he made with the FIB. Otherwise, it would have been a really good story. Would have been different if this Dave guy went to Mike and said, look, we got you on video, your crew. We're going to basically take you all down, this and that. It's just not clear. Like I mentioned in one of the missions, he mentions that he went to Dave to make this deal. Why? We don't know. Prior to that bank heist or whatever they got caught or shot in, I mean, did he need to do that heist? Can he just made that deal then? I mean, that Brad dude and the guy driving would have still been alive. But anyway, that's it, and that's going to take care of this first one. And now we start in with the missions with Franklin and Lamar. If you like the videos, you can always support us by checking out the ads.